G'day guys, I know it's been a long time, but I'm back. My name's Adam and I've got a new 3DS or 2DS to show you today, and that is of course the special Pikachu new 2DS XL. I'm a sucker for Pikachu and of course I had to unbox it here on YouTube. Now I obviously bought this from EB Games Australia, and in Australia it costs $220. Now if we just take a quick look around the box, this is actually a fairly nice looking 2DS box. It's got Pikachu branding everywhere. So if you're a collector and you don't intend on playing this box would look awesome on display. Now this isn't the first new 2DS XL I've owned. I did actually buy it when it first came out and I was intending on bringing it to YouTube and sharing my thoughts. But I opened it up early and I was really unimpressed with a few things, such as the feel of it, the wobbly hinge, and a couple of other things. But let's open this one up and I'm fingers crossed it's actually a nice unit. Of course we still get the AR cards, which I don't really think anyone uses anymore, and a little bit of paperwork, and the main event. So I'll just put that down for one sec. I probably won't bother unboxing this, but there's the charging brick. So first impressions, it's actually a beautiful matte texture, front and back. It's not a glossy plastic, thank goodness. So one of my pet peeves of the 3DS was the fact that it had the 3DS XL was that glossy exterior. It just picked up fingerprints and smudged and just didn't feel nice in the hand. The actual outside brown here is gloss plastic. You can probably see that through the camera. But this section here and the entire back is a lovely, vibrant yellow matte plastic. All right, let's open it up and see what it's like. There you go. Now this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to buy this one instead of the Pokeball version, because I just think this one being bright yellow with the brown buttons and the brown accents and the Pikachu face and the raised nose, it just has more personality. It's got more style. It just looks nicer as a special edition console. Now one of the things that makes this console unique and what the gimmick of it is, other than the special colors, is of course the raised nose. And you can see the way it's actually been designed, the light reflects off the top of this raised section. So that in person, it actually looks quite effective. You've got this, it really accentuates Pikachu's nose and gives it a bit of character. Now the big test is obviously, let's turn on the screens and see whether we lucked out. I don't know whether Nintendo uses an IPS panel on the new 2DS XL or if they stuck with a TN panel. That blue unit I bought definitely had a TN panel, top and bottom. So fingers crossed this one is a little bit nicer. And the unfortunate thing is both top and bottom panels on this are definitely TN. You can see that there's washing out of the colors on both screens when you turn it to the side. And it's one of those things, if you've bought a Pikachu version and you've got an IPS panel, I'd love to hear from you. Now one nice thing I really like about the new 2DS XL is it does feel more slimmer, much lighter, and more modern than the 3DS XL. Just especially with that top slimline screen. It basically, to me, just looks like a phone screen these days. And I do actually like the design. It feels nice in the hand, not overly small or cramped for someone like me playing as an adult. Now, I talked before that I'd actually briefly owned a new 2DS XL, and that was the blue version that first came out. And there were a few things that I didn't like. The main thing I didn't like on that blue one is that when I picked it up, it felt cheap. It felt like the plastic was really thin compared to the 3DS XL. And it's interesting that I'm not sure exactly if there is a difference at all, or if this is a different type of plastic, or maybe the coating is thicker, but this doesn't have that same thinness or that same cheap plastic feeling. I mean, obviously it's still plastic, but it just doesn't feel as cheap as that original new 2DS XL in blue. The other thing which I really didn't like about the new 2DS XL that I bought previously was that the hinge was incredibly loose. And I went back to the store and tested 3 or 4 other units and noticed they all had this incredibly floppy hinge. And most people would say, oh, well, I don't play my console like this by flapping it around. And I agree 100%. The only time this really bugs me is if I'm lying in bed or if you're lying down and you're playing, if you hold it above you like this and any subtle movements with the hinge that loose causes the hinge to just flop constantly. And fortunately, this hinge here, it's definitely not as tight as my new 3DS XL hinge, but it's nice. And it's firm enough that holding it up here, subtle movements aren't making this just constantly rock. And I know this is complete first world problems, but when you're paying this sort of money and there's all these different variations in the consoles, it's nice to get a decent one. But in any case, I'm very happy I bought this. I'm sure that I'll have this for years to come. I think going forward into the future, this one's really going to stand out as a collector's item and a desired sought after 2DS. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.